Hey everybody, so I'm back today just doing a bit of a show and tell of what I'm up to and what's on the table. I finished the Forgeworld Typhon model that I started. It's got this, I'm just looking at showing the overall model on the base here. It's got this large display base, which is really cool. I think it matches the Chaos guys that I did in October pretty well. But I'm going to pull them out here so I can just show them a little closer. In order to do that, I'll have to pull this off. It's a little tricky to pull out, but so I actually did paint his eyes. I typically haven't been doing that with a lot of the miniatures. I find it pretty tedious, but I did paint his eyes on this one. I think it has made a big difference. And did some weathering, some rust effects. Just going to pull out a little bit here. I love the sculpture on this model. I just find it sort of really makes painting fun when you're painting this kind of detail. So yeah, so pretty happy with that. I'm finished with him, and I'm going to be now working on, as I showed in another video, my Dark Ages minis. And so what I've just done is yesterday I cleaned these guys up. These are the warriors, and so there's 16 of them. I thought I'd start with the biggest group, and so this is sorry about that, 16 warriors. I've never really painted a spearman before, but I thought it's probably going to be easier if I paint these guys up for the most part and then do the hands and the spears last, and then put them on, rather than try to work around the spears. I was just thinking that might be a hassle. And so, yeah, I'm working on these guys now. I cleaned them up yesterday. There was quite a bit of cleanup, and in particular, for those of you that might, I like these miniatures, but the hands on some of them, literally, instead of having like a hand that's cupped that you could just slide a spear into, it was literally solid metal. I actually almost had to create, like I used a Dremel and drilled out the palms so I could actually get a spear into them, and that was more work than I thought I would have to do. Like I am used to having to do just mold lines and you know, flashing and things like that, but I didn't realize I was going to have to drill out their hands to make it work. It was okay in the end. It could have been worse, and for the most part it's good. And then what I did today is I just plastered the bases. I use a DAP sort of plaster that goes on pink and turns white when it's dry. So I've done that. And unlike my Musket and Tomahawks miniatures, where I also use the plaster, on those ones I tend to go for a bit of a rough surface that has a lot of ridges that end up looking like roots when I put dark washes on it. I just find it comes out really nice. I actually tried to just do these guys completely smooth because I'm going to be going for a green grassy look with some dead grass and flowers and tufts of grass. I'm going for a very different look for this group, and so I didn't want to, so I had to use the blade in smoothing and applying the plaster on a little differently. And finally, those of you that have been keeping up with my hobby table updates might remember I've been working on a terrain project for a big forest board. That's been taking a really long time, and part of it is mainly because of making my own foliage and foam foliage to use on the trees, and it's a great process, but I find the drying time, the way I've been doing it, is pretty significant. But I've been getting really good results by waiting a while and letting all the paint and glue dry that I use to make it. I'll just pan over here and show you guys the foliage that I've got made already. So this is all the foliage that I've actually got made. It's actually a fair bit. I mean, these are just full pieces. Some of this stuff on top here I just moved on and it's just drying, but this is like a piece that's completely dry now, and yeah, it sticks together really good. I mean, I'm going to be breaking it apart in some cases. I have a bit of a mixture. I mean, I have some stuff that's definitely loose, and then I have other stuff that is like big blocks of it. Part of that is when I use the paint and the glue, in my latex glove, I would kind of press down with my fist in a bucket, creating this sort of flat pan, which actually comes out nice. Like, it's really good for that. And so this is, you know, it really does look like a lot on the table of stuff, and my workshop's, my work here is a bit of a mess because of it right now. I'm thinking that I'll be lucky, I'll be doing the rim around the forest board, and I'll show you that. I'll just pan over and show it to you. The forest board is painted green on top right now. I'm not sure if I showed you guys, but I finished my trees, so I've got some birch and some regular wood in there. I'll be putting some foliage inside there as well. But underneath, I think it's looking cool. I put some natural lighting. It's a little exaggerated right now because I have a light right over it. And then also the foliage that will go around in the interiors are going to break those shapes up in there a bit. But I've used foam on the top of these and painted the whole thing just as an undercoat, and then I'll be putting all the foliage on top of it, and I'll be doing a method where I glue foliage to the side, and I'll show that in a future video when I do show the how-to. But I'm thinking what I have there is probably just enough, if not a little bit more, than what I need to do one of these. I'm hoping I can get through more than one into the second with what I've got, because it's just taking a long time to make it all. Really just the drying is what it's taking a long time. And I think I can get it a little bit quicker because I'm doing it about twice as fast now, because initially I just did small amounts just to test it out, and now I did about half of what I had there I did in one batch. So I'll probably have to do another couple of batches like that, the bigger batches, and I'll be ready to go. I'll be just, you know, using watered down wood glue, PVA, to get all this on here, and then I'm doing something different for the sides, and I'll show that in a future video. So I've been reading through the Saga rules. I'm just about done. I've read all the main stuff and I'm really enjoying it so far, but I'll be back for a video just to talk about that. Okay, hope your guys' weeks are going well. Talk to you later.